Today we are not going to save anything. We are going to peek at the possibilities of inventions that we have yet to see for the boat. Today, like the famous influencers, we are going to do a boat tour. Well, as we told you, today we're going to get to know a little bit of the ins and outs and fundamental inventions of my boat. So, without further ado, welcome to my boat. Well, this is my boat. A 97 Oceanis 321. Fino's design from the mid-90s. It's a boat that's 32 feet but stretched to the maximum. It's almost 10 meters. It's 995 or something like that. A 45 wide, that is, if you look, for example, compared to the one next to it, which is a 31, if you see it from here, it gives a sensation of much greater volume, and it has much more volume. "10 meters in length, by almost 3.5 meters of beam, a draft of 1 meter 30, and it is a fairly simple boat. What is most surprising about it is the interior volume. Inside you will be surprised that it is a 32 feet. It has 3 cabins, 2 aft. And they are not small cabins at all, they are spacious. So it is surprising that there is so much space in a boat of such a small length. But with this, more or less you have a general idea. Almost everything I have read on Wikipedia and stuff, so it is not that I know it by heart. From here on, I'm going to show you a little bit about the boat. That's why it's a boat tour. We are going to start our visit to the boat, but we are going to start our visit to the boat and the inventions we have directly at the dock. The first thing you will notice is the Chinese bumpers. Okay, this is probably the cheapest way to make some fenders for the boat. If you look at those ones that the neighbor has over there, those are very good, but very expensive. These come out at less than €1 per meter, and those will come out at 50 euros per meter. Basically, okay, here we have our Chinese fenders. At the same time, when we put the fenders in, the power cable of the pants, you will see that I have it very well tied. That fundamentally is because it was stolen, and I don't want it to be stolen again. And because the plug is too far away from the boat. So I decided to leave it well tied up so that at least the one who wants to steal it will have to make a lot of effort. In any case, normally, you will only see it later, but I disconnect this end after having turned off the leads in the box. Moving on to the fender part, apart from the churros, you will see that I have this little invention, as I usually moor from bow. It can happen that if there is a lot of wind, I get the bow to this corner, and this line, what it does is that when I hit on it, I deflect it, and I get to the fat defense. That is the one that is really going to stop the boat when I tie up solo. From the point of view of the dock, those are the main parts that we will see. Then when we get a little bit into the parts of the boat that we're going to see from the outside, what we have is, first of all, the silkscreen printing. The boat is called Semi, and it is silk screened with the logos and the website of the company I work for. And the truth is that I was really surprised because I thought that vinyls and the sea would not get along at all. It is surprising. I mean, it works. In fact, I have already discovered that there are many boats that today are no longer painted and directly put vinyl all around them. If you notice, I also have the fenders. I always have a lot of fenders so that at the end, neither I damage the boat next to me, nor the boat next to me damages me, and it is easy for both of us to moor. If we go to the bow from here on land, what we find is one more camera, another camera. This one, which we haven't talked about yet in the videos, is the camera that I use a lot while I'm sailing, and that's a camera that's on the bow. It's quite exposed to the sea. So it's the second or third version, and I have it well sealed with silicone because it gets splashed with a lot of water. I use this camera a lot on the tablet while I'm sailing. And if we get closer to the boat, what we see is, first of all, this, which will get your attention a little bit, which is a sensor. A sensor that we manufacture in the company that I work for. We manufacture it to know the level of filling in garbage containers. It is a sensor. It's a sensor, I'm telling you. We are actually the best, but here in the port we are using it to know the distance. It measures distance and see if the ship is in place or not in place. And with this I know, with the platform that we do, I'm able to know more information like how many days I've been out sailing, how long I've been in the water, if the boat is separated, a lot of information related to that. The rest of the stuff we'll be able to see from the boat itself. And to get on the boat I have made a ladder. I made it yesterday, so don't think it has been here for 1,000 years. So this ladder is designed so that elderly people, pregnant women, or people who are not very skilled can climb it. So it will also be very useful for people like myself, and it will be very comfortable for us to climb it. I have spent 10 euros and I have done it in half an hour basically. We're going to start a little bit of a tour of the deck, and we're going to start with the anchor well. A little line so it doesn't accidentally close on us, okay? This is very important. Because if this falls on your foot, it can do a lot of damage. Well, and then here we start to see several things. The electric windlass that in the first episode we saw how to generate a remote control, but it still retains these two buttons. That is, I can use it with the remote control or I can use it with the buttons that it retains here. Then in the anchor well, the chain, okay, with its anchor that it has over here. And if you notice, the first thing that catches your eye is that the ground wire is connected to the bow. This is a second plug. The original one is in the stern. But as before, I had to run the whole cable over the deck. I decided that it was more comfortable to bring it inside and put a second plug here, so I can plug the ground cable in differently when I moor from the bow here. Or if I moor from the stern and it is closer, I have a plug in the stern where to tie it. Next thing that might catch your attention, in the anchor locker, what I keep is this line, which I use on occasions when I'm going to be anchored for a long time to hook it to the two carabiners and hook it to the chain, so that I don't have to work or load the weight on the winch when the anchor is already set. So this is very useful, and I recommend you always have one handy. One other thing that will catch your eye here in the anchor locker, aside from the second plug for the socket cable, is this tap that I have added. This tap that I've added is connected to the boat's freshwater system with the pump. And basically, I use it for two main things, or even three main things. The first thing, with this little hose that I have here, which is one of those drip irrigation tubes. And if Carlos moves a little bit away so he doesn't get wet, what we have is a system to flush the anchor chain with fresh water as it goes up. When I take the anchor up, I open the tap and the chain is flushed with fresh water, so it's clean by the time it reaches the top. That's one of the main uses it has. And the next use is that, obviously, instead of plugging in, that I have this hose here. So this hose, I can also plug it into the same faucet. And then I have fresh water on the bow to wash anything. Mainly what I do here is when I'm going to paddle with the sub, or when I want to rinse any of my water toys, I put it in here, and with the hose I rinse it. Then I have it all ready and all rinsed out. And the last use is that if we are moored in port for a long period of time, when we want to use the fresh water without limits, instead of running the pump and pulling the tanks, if I connect this directly to the tap. And I open this tap, I have pressurized fresh water in the boat without the pump or the water in the tanks. Then I can take a shower, I can use the water as if I were at home, and it will always be pulling water, as my father says, water from the mill, which I don't really know what that means, from the fresh water that comes to us from the harbor post. So those are the three main uses of this faucet. And basically these are the main secrets that the anchor locker hides. Let's keep moving towards the back. Before we focus on a pole, what we see is the defenses. This is an invention that you guys recommended to us. In fact, this is an invention that was recommended to me by Plamen, one of our followers. Before, what I used to do was to give the fenders a twist, but now what I do is that I hook it here, and I hook here when I'm sailing, and then I don't have to put the fenders away and they stay in place. Let's focus on the mast now. Well, here, once we are at the mast in this part of the boat, what we have is there are remains of some installation. I don't know where it ended up because it didn't arrive with the boat. And then what we have is, halfway up the mast, what we have is a deck light, which is also Chinese, which I bought. And it's a super powerful, super tight LED light, which works very well. And I replaced it with the little bulb that was there. It's great. And you can see that the TV antenna is on the top of the pole. The wind equipment, the weather vane, and the top of the mast camera. Another camera, which may even be recording us right now. At the foot of the mast, what we have are the different outlets for all the cables that go down the mast. And then, well, here, halyards and sheets we have attached, and the rest of the mast. If you look, now you'll see that I have very few lines redirected to the cockpit. Here I only have 4 lines redirected, which are the main sheet of the mainsail. I also have the halyard of the main, the halyard of the Genoa, and the bowline. There are a few that I would like to have, such as the spinnaker halyard, the boom retainer, and my plan, which we will look at in an episode, is that instead of buying a pulley diverter like this one, we'll build one. We'll build one. Instead of spending 90 euros or 100 euros that this costs, well, we're going to fix it by spending about 10, basically. And it's going to look just as good, you'll see. Let's keep going towards the back, to the cockpit, okay? Carlos, be careful. You'll see that I use Velcro profusely, okay? Velcro is a great invention for boats. In this case, I'm using it so that the sheet of the Genoa stays firmly fixed here and is not rubbing against the wind here, which generates more wear than the previous ones, which were already marked. And then here I have put a line for the marker flags, or to raise the anchor ball, which is where I put them, on this side here. Right? Just like on the pole, there is the obligatory radar reflector that, because it's mandatory, but it doesn't do much. You'll see the boat is well secured with plenty of lines. And another detail that may draw your attention. Is this bungee cord? Right? All the lines that cross the boat across the deck, instead of leaving them just sitting like that, I've got them with a bungee cord. What for? To absorb tension? No. Well, basically because if you leave them on, there's a rust mark on the deck, and then there's no one to remove it, and then all the ones that cross the deck, I always have them on. I always have them with it, okay? And then over here, well, the Genoa car, which you'll see also. In an episode in which the blocks were super worn, and I made them with the help of my father. He made them on the lathe, and I changed them. And then over here, what we have is the solar installation, which in my case consists of 2 panels, as I don't have an arch yet. It consists of a fixed, flexible panel, which is always placed here, and this is the one that has been there the longest. And then in the erosion cover, I have one that I put in summer, and that I usually keep, which is the second one. So the 2 are connected, and they both go to a regulator that you'll see below. The erosion cover, in many videos you will have seen it without it. In winter, I don't usually have it on. And in summer, when my wife comes and when more guests come, it is more comfortable to be covered from the northeast, which is the wind that blows more abundantly here in summer. We continue to go back, and we go to the stern. At the stern, there are several things to see. Oh, well, the first thing is that we're already in the summer season, and so I usually have the Zodiac mounted here. And instead of dragging it, I like to have it positioned like this. It's well supported, it's well secured. It doesn't get in the way much except when you swim, but when you swim I throw it in the water. And it's also useful for when there's a current, it's useful for people to have a place to hold on to, and then if you need to use it, it's already in the water. If you need to release it from here, it goes into the water very, very quickly. You could almost call it a life raft. Then over here, What we have is our Wi-Fi antenna for catching free internet, which is pointed at some Wi-Fi around here in the harbor. You'll see that I'm also using Velcro with white PVC tubing. These rod holders, I have one here, I have another one on the other side, and I have others that I simply put in and hook them, because these are with a quick coupling, and also in the life ring they are used to pull the line out with the life ring very quickly, and it comes out without getting stuck. I don't know how many times I have recycled the life ring. In fact, I have painted it myself. I do not know if it would have been cheaper to buy another one. They are cheap, but well, maybe it is more ecological to repaint it. I'm not sure. And on this other side of the stern, we have is another rod holder. I use for my rod. When I'm sailing, you'll have noticed that I usually place the boat hook there. I also use it for the outboard's auxiliary engine, which I keep there and have used to enter the port on several occasions. This 2 horsepower engine has also helped me get the boat onto the mooring several times. I've covered 5 miles using this engine on one occasion, all the way to the mooring without any wind to assist. Now let's talk about the binnacle with the boat steering position. The first thing, or rather the first feature to highlight, are the holsters. We're going to be discovering a few things. My holsters, well, the wheel holster, both the wheel holster and the one I have here. These 2 holsters. That you see here, I'll put the links in the description. Actually, what they are. They are some gizmos that we surfers use to change our wetsuits on it. So you change on here, you throw the wetsuit, you roll it up, you pick it up, and you take it with you. This one from AliExpress seems to me to cost €1.50, and this one from Decathlon cost me a little more, but the one from AliExpress would have been enough for me, and I am lucky enough to have it exactly the size of the wheel. And then I use it as a cover for the wheel of the boat. Speaking of the wheel, if you notice, I have it here lined in good leather. The wheel cover I made myself, and as I did it, I was looking at the cost of a wheel cover. It costs from €100, 100 and some euros, and I looked in AliExpress and I will put in the description, 3 Chinese car steering wheel covers of the same color, and if you notice they are sewn together, it's sewn here. It's sewn, and you can hardly notice it, but it's also sewn here. It seems to me there's a 3rd seam here, so there are 3 covers sewn together, with the mark of the center of the wheel. I've used one of the seams to my advantage for this. And then they are closed here, with the seam that this comes all in them to do it. If I remember correctly, the actual retail price is I think I spent €6 in total instead of 90, 100, 150. Whatever you want to spend, and also with what I had left over, I also made a protector for this piece of metal that I have here. The classic binnacle. The compass. The instruments, if you look at them. The instruments, some of them have their original covers and others have a cover printed in a 3D printer, because the original covers, it feels like a rip-off to me that they would try to charge you 30 or 50 euros for a plastic cover like this, especially when it could also be 3D printed. I always keep them within easy reach for any emergency. A line with a short carabiner, and a knife in case I have to cut a line in case of emergency. The pilot, the autopilot that came with the boat, there I have had nothing to do, the instruments and the plotter. The truth is that it is not very useful because it is already very old. Here are some useful things for comfort, a couple of inventions, the first of the inventions I designed, and my father made it. My father is really a very good handyman. He has made this, he has built this, and he builds almost anything you can imagine. This is a cup holder. It is also useful, for example, to put the cell phone here when you don't have drinks. And it has this ridge so that it can't slip out. You can also put more things in here, always with a rim so that they cannot move outside. And here, this is the size of the beverage cans with what you can place them. Plus the way it is attached, they are with some fasteners that sell for kitchen furniture, I think it is. It allows you to raise it in height and I can release it, and then with Velcro is secured, but if I open the Velcro I can use it like this. Put it on the side, for example. because we'll see that when I have the table set up, I have the whole table and I can put it on one side, I can put it this way, or I can take it off completely, so it's very easy to put on, very easy to take off. It's a hell of an invention. And then to secure it, the securing it is because many of my friends had a natural tendency to hold on to it, and they used to pull it off, so to make sure we put the Velcro. And if you notice, and once it is with the Velcro, it does not move. And the next thing I have is the table. Another thing that my father made me. Because all this, if you buy it, costs money, it is adapted with an invention. It is removable, that is to say that I can remove it. The only thing he did to place it is 2 irons that go here crossed. One is where it is attached. It is with these hinges, and the other we will see that it is the one that holds it when you unfold it. So, once it's in place, we can deploy it in several modes. The first mode. So if you're sailing and you're just going to have a snack, then you can unfold it like this, and this you see you can leave it in place. You can raise it in height if you want, so you can fit things underneath. Or as we have seen before, you can move it to one side, you can even put it towards the test. Then we have the table, and here we usually have appetizers, or to hold things, or if you have a lot of people with a lot of cell phones, then you can also put it there. As you can see when it's closed like this. It has a rim so that things can't slip out, and then at the same time it also allows you to open it, either one half or... It can be opened either one half or both halves. So we have a table this size. The fastening is very simple, you see. It is simply this leg that places it. And then it is fastened, and then it is very easy to fold. The size is great for 2. It fits 4 is a bit tight, more difficult, but well, it depends on what you're going to eat. Then one fine day, I came up with a happy idea. Basically, I keep 2 iron bars here. Carlos will put it in fast motion for you to see. I do this. I turn this one this way. Repeat the operation with the other one. This is for when you have a lot of people on the boat. Don't think I always do it. I try not to have a lot of people on the boat. But if I have a lot of people on the boat, then I would take this one out. Oh well, these iron bars are reused from other things. If you want to do it, I would recommend good aluminum. And then you say, well, that's it. Here, we can extend the table, and what can we use to extend the table? Do I have a board stored somewhere to extend the table? Well, no. And this is what I use. This is the door. This is the front door. Normally when I'm sailing, I keep it downstairs, and when I have a lot of people, I loosen these 2 screws. Carlos will also put it on fast forward. As you can see on the door is the opening sensor, which we saw in one of the episodes, and this other opening sensor, which is made by the company I work for. But it is designed for other purposes normally. In fact, this one doesn't need Wi-Fi. It works with normal communication networks. Well then, simply when I have a lot of people, I put this here. I put this here. I tie up the thingies again. I'm not going to tie it all up. Okay. I usually put a tablecloth on it, and we have a much bigger table where you can have here one person, here another person, here another person, here another person. 6 people can eat here very well. And that normally here we will see, I also put an additional leg. If I see that it is going to have a lot of weight, this is what I call my flexible table, which has at least 3 or 4 ways of use. And also we'll see in another episode, it has a system to pick itself up without you having to do anything. You just have to do. And it's all collapsed and stored away with very little effort. This is as far as we are going to get with this first part of the boat tour. Okay? We are only going to cover a little bit the outside. I think we have already seen a lot of inventions that may interest you. Remember to comment and tell us if you want us to go deeper into any of the inventions. Do not think that this is the only thing we have to show on the boat. Another day we will do a visit inside the boat, or maybe a visit sailing and seeing all the instruments working, but that will have to be another time because this is getting too long. So tell us if you want to know something more about some of the things we have discussed in the video, what you think is appropriate and what you think we should go a little deeper. Thank you very much for your attention, sailors. I hope you liked today's episode. Do not forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, You have all the links of the things that may be interesting that we have taught you in the description. Of course, comment, as you say, Carlos. Feed the algorithm, feed the algorithm. We'll be waiting for you in a new episode of The Low Cost Sailor. And that's it. We don't have to record anymore, okay? Not this. You got it? Well, nothing more. We tidy up. And this cable, it's nothing. Not yet. You don't need to see anything because this is going to be for one of the next episodes. We've got it already. It was a great temptation. Don't tell me it's the submarine drone.